Two dads, one dut. Episode 86.
Sports rule.
Sports rule. Girthy football.
Yes.
Week 15.
It's getting nuts.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty, boys.
Things are really starting to take shape.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
Rosters are coming together.
Records are starting to record. It's getting nuts.
Speaking of nuts.
Colts?
Yes.
It was a nutty weekend.
It was. Henceforth the title, Sports Rule. It's just sports.
It's just sports, baby.
They're tight. And I love them.
Yeah, it was, again, I think people would say it started off Saturday with a little bit of a shenanigan. I think there was a call put into the league. Well, not necessarily the league, but to Saturday.
B-Dubs put the call in.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Jeff Saturday, not the day Saturday.
I'm talking about to Jeff Saturday.
Yeah. Okay.
Need you to lose this game, bub.
Yeah.
Once it got to be like 33-14, there was like 8 minutes to go in the third. I think it was like, I think this pick's more important than the single win. I need you to, we're going to be as bland as we could be on offense.
Yeah.
Make it look like we're trying to win the game. But at the end of the day, I need you to throw the towel in.
We'll get to it. I got some facts on it. I got some Snapple facts.
It was tough.
Yeah.
It was, though, one of those, I helped my sister move, and she took us out to beat-ups for lunch after that.
Love that. What a play.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Maysville?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She hates me, by the way. It's nuts.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
hate her picks, right?
She picked fucking Stefan for the, what was that, TV Smoke Bros? It's Stefan.
Dude, everybody loved him, man. He was huge.
Sure. Yeah. Anyways.
When Urkel became Stefan,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Urkel became Stefan, man.
it was a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Life-changing.
You ever
Groundbreaking.
get Jordan Key and Peele skit?
Yeah.
Where he plays the cop and he comes and he's like, it's fucking Family Matters. And this fucking kid, he's going back in time and everybody becomes Urkel. This is fucking. The dude's like, you will suck Urkel's dick if he asks you to. He is the show.
What?
You never seen it?
No. I'll have to
It's
get a hold
the
of Brittany.
fucking
Maybe she knows
funny,
about
man.
it.
It's the funniest.
No, but like, it's one of those games where,
We're just going to jump into it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm
I
ready.
think we have to. It's
I
not
have
tough
to.
a
We
week.
brought it
No,
up. man.
okay.
Yeah, it was Saturday.
Yeah.
Football on Saturday, baby.
Yeah.
But you knew. Like at one point, I think somebody said the line was like 3.5 for the Colts.
Yes.
It was looking like that was going to be one of the worst beats of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're up 33-0 at the half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right. I'm getting points.
I got points, baby.
Oh my God, it's an overtime.
I mean, to play into that aspect of it before we go into like the stats and whatever, it really was like I sent you guys the parlay I made. I had never felt more confident in one going into a game because, again, I thought the whole conspiracy with like Indy just getting fed like the Vegas script to be the upsetters and whatever was done. And then to just do the like, I'm at work, it's busy. I check the score and I'm like, oh, it's like 9-0 or something early. I was like, well, this is never fun when you pick the other team and you need them to cover a certain amount. And then I go to take my lunch and I'm like, halftime. And then it's the ESPN.
33-0.
ESPN does the, oh boy, ... 33-0 at half. And you're just like, this is the most dead pick I've ever made in my life.
Teams are 15-98, 1-1. And you're just like, tight.
Yeah. Well, no. So going into that, they were 1,548, 0-1 with a 30 or more point lead. The Colts were the first loss to that. So they now own the biggest record. What's that called? Blown lead.
Yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't have thought of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, to basically make a Vikings parlay and then have it all hit on the back end is just, I feel like you don't see that a lot.
Yeah.
It was the reverse jinx. I told Depp my parlay couldn't be deader. And then next thing you know.
And then I didn't say anything because I don't like to mush bets, baby.
And all of a sudden I get the ESPN ticker and it's like, oh my gosh, overtime. And I said, Jesus Christ, this thing's got so many legs. Let's go. We're so back. But yeah.
Dude, on the drive down, we were listening to the game and I was like, fell asleep. So then I wake up and it's like right before we get to Indy and like my buddy Jake's like, dude, right when they scored, I want to say like 14, make it like 33-14 or 36-14 or whatever.
Plenty of time in the third still.
He was like, it's 10.5, but if you live bet the Vikings right now, it's plus 800. And I was like, value, dude.
Yeah.
And he was like, should I do it? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, all right. He puts $50 on it
Woo.
to win 400. Goes, and I think Kirk Cousins throws a pick or they punt, and he was just like, got scared and then cashed out. And so he just had to listen
The
to
whole
this fucking
time.
thing come on. And then they're just coming back. And every single time he scored a touchdown, he's like, fuck.
I couldn't imagine.
And I'm like, what are you doing, Jake? And he was like, I don't know, dude. I got scared. He cashed out for like $36. I was like, you're losing money, man.
If you're at that game though, like how does that feel like being a Minnesota fan and an Indy fan? Like I don't understand it. It's to have
Well,
that.
they were like saying like everybody was booing, but nobody left. Like everybody waited the whole game. And I'm like, dude, if it's 33 at half, I'm getting the fuck out. I'm beating the crowd. We're going to the bar. I'm getting blitzed.
Yeah.
If I'm a Vikings fan.
Something. But yeah, so I put Matt Ryan now owns the biggest blown Super Bowl lead and regular season lead.
That was tough. Beating
Classic.
him.
That just has to be one of those, right? Like I don't know if anybody has the mental fortitude to like you should be done after this season just purely off of that.
Nah, he's coming back.
Like
Stronger than ever.
you're adding to the record books in the worst ways.
So at the half, it was 33-0,
Yeah.
or I guess like at its peak of the blowout. I heard it on Simmons's pod. The live odds at the highest it was 90-1.
Really?
Yeah, which again seems really high,
Yeah.
but when you said teams are 1,500 0-1, like
Yeah.
it should be higher than that.
Yeah, it should be, I mean, thousands, if not tens of thousands.
Yeah, like they'll never put it that.
No,
because
you're
there's
never
always the
getting
what
true
if, and the
odds,
fucking
right.
books will never be like, oh shit, we got to cover this now.
Yeah.
Because if I see something and it's fucking 12,000, 10,000 to 1, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna put $10 on.
If somebody gives me
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. If anybody ever gives you 10,000 to 1 odds, you
Yeah,
take
you
that bet every time.
But-
But John Cougar Mellencamp ever wins an Oscar. I'm a very
Rich man. But no, so I put here, it's kind of crazy. I forget who tweeted it, if one of you guys sent it to me, but it's the guy that's like, it's kind of crazy that people just think Jeff Saturday's a good coach because he got that
Yeah.
first win, and then he's just sucked ever since.
Yeah.
So he's now 1-4, and after they beat the Raiders in his first coaching win, they lost to Philly 16-17, which honestly felt like part 2 of Vegas and the betting conspiracy, like the Kansas City game. Like that whole thing was just weird,
Yeah.
but still a loss. Then they lost 24-17 to Pittsburgh, which again, Pittsburgh is nothing to write home about.
That was
And-
TJ Watt coming back, though.
well,
Turned it around.
but it's just like they're not playing for anything. It was a weird game, and it's like just two shit teams playing each other. You still lost, and then you go and you lose 54-19 to Dallas when the game was 21-19 heading into the fourth quarter.
It's weird.
And then,
That was when I legitimately was shocked when I woke up in the morning because I went to bed at half. I was like, oh, it's a good game, but I'm not going to stay up for it.
yeah,
Saw the score and was like, holy
I had to
cow.
watch that onslaught, dude.
yeah.
Colts 27 plus 27 and a half.
Didn't cover.
Under 63. Oh.
And then you lose to Minnesota being up 33-0 at half. Like at some point, you're just a bad coach. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the whole like you're coaching scared, you're doing the prevent defense, but I'm thinking in my head from what it sounded like when I was reading through and like seeing some highlights, it was just an onslaught from like the special teams, the defense, like it was an all round just beating.
Michael Pittman had a couple drops. I heard. I was listening to it, so I wasn't
Yeah.
watching it, so I didn't see like where the ball was or anything. But they
Yeah.
were like, he put 2 hands on it, and Michael Pittman usually comes down with that. And it was
Yeah.
just like 3rd and 5 and over the middle, and he just drops the ball, and they're like, okay, well that's a punt, and you're like, okay, well we got 33 points, we're all right.
And that-
Okay, we got 26 points, we're all right.
Yeah, and that's where I'm just like, at what point do you realize like you stopped coaching? Like I guess it goes into the whole thing with me where I get the gentleman's rule and like the respect of, don't go do a dunk when there's 5 seconds left and you're beating the team by 20 points in the
Yeah.
NBA. But for me in football and I guess any sport, until you get to like 30 seconds left and this win is sealed, fucking jam it down their throats, dude.
Yeah.
Like everything you were doing was working. You got to 33 points.
Yeah.
They had 0. Why did you change your game plan or deviate? Like, I have a hard time believing Minnesota fucking counterbalanced your whole act you were doing in their halftime game plan and then came out just a fucking shitstorm.
They did it to us, we can do it to them.
Oh, you knew in the second half where it's like, because Minnesota got the ball first, you're like, all right, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Like you said, you'd leave
Yeah.
at halftime. They come out, march down, touchdown. Like, oh, that was easy.
Yeah.
Colts, I think, got a field goal. But then Minnesota scored again, and then you saw the Colts. It was just the same thing. It was like, all right, run, play action pass for 4 yards. And it's like, oh, I know what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
This is going to get ugly.
Your game plan is now just dog shit, and somehow you have no play calls that just get you a methodical drive.
Yeah, and it's like, as I was listening to it, the commentators are like, they're getting 5 yards on first down running the ball with Deion Jackson every time. And then they just throw it 2 times and incomplete.
Correct.
Punt. And then the next series is like, well, run by Deion Jackson for 5 yards. It's now 2nd and 5 again. Pass, incomplete, pass, incomplete. Or like you get stopped short, like short of the first down. They're like, well, now we're punting again.
Oh, yeah.
They got it. It's a 5-yard run.
Yeah.
Like, just keep running it, dude. Like, run the clock down at least. Run some clock off at least.
That's one of those where I think you want to be like a player on either side of the team. Like if they were mic'd up, you can only imagine the shit talking that was happening. And then to be a Minnesota guy at the end, I bet you're just like, you guys fucking blow.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, your franchise is terrible.
There was a thing, speaking of the odds, dude, somebody put like 10 grand on the Colts when they were up, like 33 to win like $9.
Jesus.
He just needed to see a green ticket.
Oh.
Blown lead sucked. And then he put doubles down on, I want to say, the Buccaneers when they were up
17 to nothing.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Lost that. And then I forget what the other game was, but they were up. And they was just like, yep, lost that one too.
Never a sure thing. You just,
You're just like,
But going off of like, did we just get to witness one of the best weekends in sports history? I asked that question because from Saturday to again, like Sunday night, I was like, we just got like a lot of really good football, the best World Cup, which the one guy tweeted maybe like the best analogy for me where he said, people that aren't a true fan of soccer, like, let me try to paint this into perspective for you. He said, this was if in the NBA finals, you somehow were able to see MJ versus LeBron, and LeBron put up 60, or no, MJ put up 60 and LeBron put up 50. So LeBron is, what's his nuts? Mbappe. And then MJ's Messi. And he's like,
that would be the opposite.
Messi's the
Messi scored 1.
No, Messi scored 2. He's the old guy, though.
Yeah, but Mbappe scored 3s. Mbappe got a hat trick.
Well, no, but I'm saying like Mbappe's LeBron because he's the younger guy. MJ's the older guy.
Right, but
like,
LeBron scored more points.
Sure.
Okay.
But either way, they're basically like, never do you see two people that are so true in their like primes just go head to head and both people just shine.
Yeah.
Like it was insane. And so to have that start the day, and then with, the next one on the docket, if you will, the Jacksonville interception walk-off. So after only scoring 7 points in the first half, Trevor Lawrence led the Jaguars to 33 second-half points on a defense, again, led by Micah Parsons, who everybody's ready to anoint him as the Defensive Player of the Year when it's like, I don't know. Like,
you got one of those white ends out there that's doing pretty well.
Name's Nick Bosa, and it's one of those where San Francisco just plays
It's got some trunks.
tough defense. And again, Micah can make these incredible plays, but I don't know, it's different when it's a quarterback on offense and then, a linebacker on defense where you can't be everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't. Whereas the quarterback,
especially as a linebacker.
Yeah, the quarterback can affect the game in far more ways. But Trevor Lawrence on the day, do you want to guess, was he over or under 300 yards?
North.
Over.
Yep. Over under 3 touchdown passes.
Over.
Yeah, 4. So there have been.
It's a good scat line.
Well, do you want to guess how many? So how many quarterbacks this year have gone for 300 or more yards and 4 touchdowns?
I'm going to go 3.
I'll say 4.
This is a weird stat because it's always been like what we talked about the whole time where the league isn't like pass heavy anymore.
3 before this week. Trevor makes 4.
There's been 9.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Do you want to guess some of them?
Carson Wentz.
He is one of them.
Nice.
He had 1 game. I think it was the very first week.
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen had 3.
Yeah.
For all the people that are like, I don't know if he's the guy.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts has not had 1.
Oh.
Not 4 touchdowns.
Oh, not throwing.
Yeah.
Kurt this week also.
Kirk. Yep.
He went for 4-banger too, didn't he? 4-hundy.
460,
Oh,
yeah.
I think he did
Woo!
460.
It was insane.
Patrick Mahomes, maybe?
Yep, he had 2.
I'm going to say undercover Jared Goff.
He had 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple left.
Baker.
Close. No.
Mike White?
No. But you're
Joe Flacco?
Yep.
Nice.
Joe Flacco.
Gross.
What's
Is that the comeback against the Browns?
Probably.
Probably.
I think. You're missing.
Footsteps Falco.
You're missing 3 more.
Lost a ton of money on that Sugar Bowl.
That's a ton of money on that Sugar Bowl. You got
God,
to
does
smell
anybody
the
else do
dent all the way
anything
back
else
in
during that game?
Wales.
Who else we got?
So good.
Dak?
Nope.
TB12?
Nope.
Derek Carr.
Nope. It's kind of weird. It's a weird list.
Uh,
Some usual suspects and then some.
Yeah, 304 tutties is a game.
Yeah. And
Taylor Heineke.
no.
Oh, is it Joe Shiesty?
Yeah. Joe Burrow.
Okay.
He had one.
Burrow.
You're missing two more.
Oh, I'm not going to get there.
One should be an easy one that I think you guys are just overthinking.
Herbert?
No.
Oh, then
Close, though.
white guy with long hair.
No, just faced him.
Matt Ryan.
No.
Uh.
Tua Tagovailoa,
Oh,
Andy
Yeah.
Dalton.
yeah. Andy Dalton did it.
Yeah.
What?
Is that when they lost to Arizona?
Yeah, that was the
Nice.
crazy Thursday night football game where it just
Okay.
became an onslaught like out of
He threw
nowhere.
those 2 pick sixes in a row. What did he?
Yeah.
He threw like 9 touchdowns that day.
Right.
Insane. But yeah, it is one of those where it's weird. Like, again, Trevor Lawrence somehow has just found this like mojo and is just on a trajectory now where I think it's pretty safe to say that Jacksonville's figured it out from a head coaching and quarterback standpoint. Everything else probably still stands to be seen, but you're in pretty elite company and then also hanging out with Carson Wentz, Joe Flacco, and Andy Dalton. Kind of weird.
And also.
Bring it.
The next one,
It'll be the first of many.
the Patriots' horrible end-of-game awareness. So I think that and the Titans' interception tip drill are the perfect examples of like having the awareness, just always on and ready, and then just having no fucking clue and nobody somehow, phoned you in on like, hey, when this play develops and starts happening, no matter what, don't do this. Like that's just should be head coaching where I think those are the little things.
It's probably one of those where he was like, I didn't know I needed to say that, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but that's where I think with head coaching, it's like over communication, I think, is key in anything. Even if you're thinking something, just say it. Like, it's not going to hurt anything. If anything,
Sometimes it does.
sure. But
Hey, man, it's a tie game. Don't lateral backwards. I'm not a fucking idiot.
Well, so that's the thing. Like, everybody is killing Jacoby Myers for
yeah,
obvious reasons.
Trying to make a play, dude.
yeah.
But if Ramondre doesn't lateral it to him, he never gets a chance to do that.
Yeah.
and I think it's
He probably just like, all right, I guess we're just playing the pitchy
Guess
pitchy
we're
woo
doing
game.
which it's pitchy woo woo until Jacoby wants to just send it across the field. Like that's where you can't do that.
But I feel like that's what you have to do. You like they get to it's like, oh, tag. It's almost like they just hand the ball off basically.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
No, you want this game to work. You gotta start putting distance between it.
I get it. But then you just throw an absolute dart to Chandler Jones, who then stiff arms Mac Jones.
That was the best part.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was just I'm on the tracks. Don't be on the tracks when the train's coming through.
If I'm looking at a reason to be pissed off at a Patriot,
Yeah.
it's Mac Jones.
It's Mac Jones.
Make
that
the tackle.
yeah, like he just literally walked on
He didn't
top
want to end
of
up like
you.
Jason Street, dude.
Yeah, wheelchair. Yeah, it's just. But then I said with the Titans one, I thought it was weird because hats off to when defensive players have the awareness to catch it and they're like, oh, my dude's right here, he's in coverage, throw it to him, still an interception for us. I'm more concerned about Mike Williams there because he like just basically gave up on it and like gave no fucks about the play. And I was like, I don't want to say you could have like again been more aware and like maybe tried to intercept it for a touchdown or do something, but you just straight up said fuck it and you're just done.
I
Like,
didn't see the play.
yeah, I thought it was really weird. I didn't like it.
Well, it's funny too because two things with the announcers because obviously there's the announcers jinx and then there all this because there was like I want to say maybe 12 seconds left. They didn't have any timeouts left and they're on like the 35. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, worst case, they made a reference to like basketball, like they have massively big wide receivers.
Yeah.
He's like, worst case, you just throw one up to Mike Williams in the end zone. If he catches it, it's a touchdown. Maybe it's PI. Now you're on the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
If not, you're just gonna kick a field goal. Interception. You're like, awesome.
Yeah.
Forgot about that third option, bud.
But
Yes.
it's one of those rare plays where you're just like, again, is this a great hats off play by Tennessee, or is it one of those where the defensive backs coach is probably like, hey, thanks for this turnover. However, don't ever fucking throw the ball back into the field of play in the end zone, respectfully.
Yeah, because it was great, but it's like if that guy's not there,
Or he bobbles it.
yeah, you
And
don't
then-
have the awareness to be like, okay, I'm gonna throw this in if somebody's there. If not, I'm just gonna knock it out of bounds.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I loved it and hated it all at once.
The other one about the announcer, real quick.
Yeah.
So, again, we were at Beat Ups for the Colts game, and Nate Burleson was on the the commentator. He wasn't
Panel.
the play-by-play guy. He was the color guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I tell you what, this might be the best comeback I've ever seen. And it's like, well, it's because it's the greatest comeback anybody's ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, that's just obvious.
Yeah.
And then this morning on Simmons' pod, he was talking to Sal, and he was like, yeah, and Burleson's just casually like, oh, this is the best thing I've ever
This is
seen.
kind of good. Is this good football?
Well,
This is good.
if you've ever watched a game, you know that this is the greatest one because it's never happened.
Yeah.
But I
That's
said it in the moment. I'm like, this fucking guy, man. Like,
Yeah.
just stating the obvious.
Oh, and that's
Sometimes you just gotta say it. Over communication, dude.
but that's what. So not to go back to the fucking World Cup, but that's what some guy made.
Big W.
No.
Big W.
Some guy made a video and he just goes, "I'm telling you right now, it doesn't get any better than this." He goes, "If you thought about being a soccer fan, don't." He goes, "It will never be cooler than what you just saw." So I'm sorry, but it's ruined. Like, you just turn the sport off. But yeah, it's the same thing where it's like, you're gonna sit here and be like, I don't know, do we argue? Is this greatness? Is something happening here? And it's like, yes, historically, 1 of 1 is happening right now. You fucking dumbass.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 comeback.
I don't know, dude.
that-
2026 is gonna be here, so we're in the States, baby.
2026.
It's called fucking soccer.
The World
well, the
Cup.
World Cup's every 4
It's
years.
in the United
bud.
States.
And
Ooh.
it's in the United States.
What city?
It's in a bunch. It's in all of them, I think. So it's like the Americas. So I think there's like one in Toronto, one in New York,
I'll
one
say I
in
think
San
it's in New
Diego, one in Arizona.
That'll be
Vegas.
fucking.
I think one in Mexico
going.
City, like one in Mexico. Like, so you have
I'm
to
there.
enter a draft, and then get
To
lotto
serve.
picked. Get lotto picked.
That's fine.
Like, you got to enter it to even be able to get picked to be able to buy tickets.
Yeah, done.
It's like the Masters.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's literally the Masters. But,
Yeah.
okay,
But
next.
it's like you got to enter like each location that you want to go to, but I don't think that you can enter more
fine.
than any one. So it's like, yeah, it's a whole thing.
We'll stick to the East Coast. The next one is.
No way, dude. We're going to Vegas, baby.
That'd be sick. You got it. The debauchery that would go on there for the world. Oh gosh, I would love it. The Lions 51-yard touchdown on 4th and 1. So I said, granted, I watched it a few different times, and I said, like Skur's been saying all year, Goff had a super clean pocket. So hats off to, like, their line being really good, and Jared Goff making a play when it makes sense. But to run a play action on 4th and 1 and then end up going through all of your progressions and hit your third read, I was like, that kind of takes a lot of moxie, in my opinion. Because I said, if that's Zach Wilson or insert some just dickhead that sucks, that's just getting launched at the feet of, like, their first read. Like, the guy that's just running the quick out to get,
The
like,
game's on the line.
well, to
Game
get,
on a lot.
to get 2 yards. I was like, that's one of those where you're
It
just,
took off.
you're just force feeding it to your first option, where it's like Goff literally is just like play action. He's like, boom, not there, boom, not over the middle. Oh, this guy's wide open. Third read. Yeah, you can have it. Touchdown. Like,
No, we literally had a chance to beat Miami. It was 4th and 1 from the Lions 44, under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Goff throws a fade route. Should have been caught. The wide receiver made a different, like a little bad break towards the very end, but so it's like, well, that's pretty high risk.
yeah.
Against Seattle, same thing. Under 4 minutes, down 3 points,
Yeah.
4th and 2, chucks it deep. It's like,
I love it. He
what
wants
are you
it.
doing?
He wants it, dude.
He wants it.
Yeah. Guys just fucking.
I want a first down.
Nah,
Go for that pass interference, dude.
Yeah. Get the
Throw
W.
it up, baby.
Worst case,
Worst case, get pass interference, dude.
But then I put here, I was like, it just feels like the Lions are America's team right now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I think everybody that talks about them now, they're like, this is just, it's different, right? Like, I mean, nobody's ever had this where it's like you're rooting for them and it's just actually good and it's fun. They're like, yeah, we get it. Stafford and Calvin Johnson, like, they had some magical years, but everybody just kind of knew they were dead in the water. Like, it was never going to be anything. And I was like, I mean,
They made it 3 times.
yeah, I get it, but yeah, Lion shoes. But yeah, it's just it's fun to watch. I think it keeps happening week in and week out where it's like I've been saying, they're just a team. Like, nobody's trying to steal the spotlight. There's not one person that's like, this guy had to fucking crush it for them to get the win again. It's like, you just find a way to win.
Yeah,
1 and
until
6.
contract year comes up next year.
Well, that's what I'm nervous about because I didn't realize. So there's a shit ton of really good running backs that are going to be in the free agency this year. Jamal Williams is one of them.
Let him go.
I was going to say, I would imagine Detroit, if
Frozen.
the smart thing here is just to be like, loved having you, but we got DeAndre Swift, and hopefully he'll be here for a couple more years, but we don't need to overpay you to just be kind of like a goal line bowling ball. Like, he's added more to the team than that for sure, but I think
What'd you pay him this year to come?
it was only like a 1 or 2 year deal or something, right?
Yeah. It wasn't a ton.
Nothing crazy, but I'm thinking in my head, you just need to start stringing together good choices. Like, don't do the huge mistakes in between, like, what's already going well for you, because that's usually what their Achilles is.
Well, and again, I was talking to my wife about this,
My wife.
and I was like, this is the first time in a long time that a game towards the end of December that matters.
Yeah, starting to matter.
Which is sad, but also exciting. And then when the Lions were up literally the entire game, and it's, the Jets have one of the best defenses in the league. I didn't think we were going to score 40, but it was just back and forth. We got stuffed at the goal line on a 4th and goal from the 1. I was like, that's going to bite us. And the Jets finally took the lead with like 6 minutes to go in the game. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And then they get the ball back, and it was weird. I was like, I told Piper, I was like, no, if we don't get this first down, like, this season's over.
Yeah.
Where normally it's over in week 6.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so I'm completely used to it. But like now when there's actual skin in it,
Oh, there's future skin in
I would
this.
have been
I need it.
super pissed.
Yeah. If they,
But they did. They clutched and were awesome.
I mean, it couldn't be better. Like, again, they're 1-0. I need them to go 3-1. And it's going to work in more ways than just like hitting their over 8.5 win total. But like, again, New York beat Washington, so they dropped. Like, you just start looking at the playoffs, and you're like, Detroit's the only team that's in the hunt, and I mean, they're right there on the fringe, that are playing good football.
And it's funny because we, out of all those teams, like, mathematically, we still have the worst odds.
Really?
Yeah, like, people are still like, I don't see it.
Really?
Because it was like 23% before the Jets game,
Yeah.
and I think it's still below 40. And I'm looking at,
Seahawks got to play the Chiefs this week.
yeah. And if you look at, like, everybody
Everybody-
assumes the NFC East is going to get 3 or 4 teams. They might not get any.
Yeah.
And I'm not to, like, shit on, stuff that's later on, but if I give you, because again,
You don't think the Cowboys are making it?
the Cowboys are.
They already clinched one.
Well, the Giants
That's
in,
what I'm saying. We're not getting any. We're getting
I
Philly
mean,
and
I
the
mean,
Cowboys.
I meant
Half the
of
division.
Washington, the Giants.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
those two. Like
Yeah.
everybody assumes that one or both of them
Yeah.
Are going.
are going to get in.
Yeah.
Because yes, the Giants are 8-5. Their final 3 games
Oh, we talked about it already. They go through
at the Vikings, home to the Colts, at Philly.
1 and 2.
Right, like maybe at best.
And that's what I was saying. Like,
Washington,
all these teams play fucking hard people.
they are at San Francisco,
Loss.
home to Cleveland, home to the Cowboys. You
0
could easily go 0-3.
Yeah.
Go 1-3.
Seattle plays Kansas City.
They play Kansas City, the Rams.
And one other team that's
Yeah,
going
like,
to beat them.
If they
Arizona
somehow
again.
go
Uh-huh.
2-1, it could be Detroit and Seattle as the 6-7 seeds instead of New York and Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I just think they're playing football where they're actually competitive, winning, and like there's just a confidence there that I don't think. Again, it's like we talked about. These other teams have overachieved far and beyond what they ever thought their
Right.
season was going to be. Hang your hat on it, but I think like a lot of people are saying it's just the depth is starting to catch up with it. The not having superstars, which kind of shits on my point of the Lions not having really anybody. But if your whole board of the 53-man roster is above average and no superstars, it's better than a team with a handful of superstars, then everybody else is just dick or there's injuries just plagued everywhere. So, yeah.
It's going to come down to the Bears game, dude.
Well, what's funny
We
about
gotta
that
go.
is that, yes, next week it's at Carolina. They're home to the Bears. And then week 18 is at Green Bay.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about, like, again, might not make the playoffs. If we win out, I think not only do we make the playoffs.
Win the division.
No, not that. But I think we're the 5th seed.
Yeah.
And then, there's still that whole Cowboys team.
There is.
They're pretty good.
Yeah. Sorry about you, brother.
I was going to say 6 because, honestly, you want to be the 5 seed because you're going to play the winner of that shit NFC South division.
No.
Nobody's scared of Tampa, Atlanta,
Yeah. Which
Carolina. Like,
Should
if
be
you're the
scared of
Cowboys, you're
Tampa.
like, oh, I can't catch the Eagles. Darn, I'll just sit down here and be the 5th seed and play the winner
and
of
they're
the
just never
Yeah.
going to
NFC
change
South.
that, right? Like it's always going to be a division winner always gets a spot,
Yeah.
always gets a berth.
A home
You
playoff
know it.
game, yes.
Yeah, like that's just there should be some stipulation where it's like you have to have a winning record in order to
Nah.
qualify. Like
Nah.
it just I don't
Can't
know.
hate the situation, dude.
I get it. It's fucking stupid, but
Yeah, not until they have I mean, not if they kept divisions, then I mean that's the goal. That's like the mini goal of the season. You win your division, you get a home playoff game.
Yeah. So this one I have. It's called the narrative game. It's featuring 4 different categories. So I wanted to run through them. The Cowboys. I think their narrative couldn't be any more precise and spot on this year than it has been all the Dak years, all the 8-8 Jason Garrett years, where it's like, you guys on paper again, if you're playing Madden, if you're whatever, you're picking them, you should be really fucking good, and you just are frauds every year. Like, you just somehow find a way to lose it. You just can't figure it out. I wouldn't pick them to be a Super Bowl contender right now. Like, you're going to go to the playoffs and you're just going to lose. I don't know who you're going to lose to, but you're just going to lose. And I love that their narrative throughout the year, it's they'll get a crazy win, people want to suck their dicks, they lose, and then it's right back to just, they are who they thought we were. We think they are now yet. But they've never been anything other than just these smoke and mirror Cowboys.
I love it.
Yeah?
I love it, dude.
I love
I'm
the
drinking the
fact-
Kool-Aid. I think they're going to be good.
No.
No, I'm saying I love the fact that this is who they are.
Yeah.
Like every year, it's like, yeah, you're going to be good. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why do you think you're going to be good?
Nothing's changed.
I
Like
mean,
you're-
they are pretty good. What's their record?
10-4. But it's one of those.
Seems a lot better than fucking 8-8 already.
Well, yeah, but it's the classic. Like, what did they do? They went to the last time they're in the playoffs. Then they go to L.A. to play the Rams, and the Rams beat them. And it was like going into that, everybody was just sucking their dicks again. Like, oh, this is Dallas's game to lose. And shocker, they find a way to lose every time. Like, there's never a game where all of a sudden Dak just takes over, or it becomes a Zeke game, or it's just this juggernaut of offense like everybody wants to always brag about. It's like, you guys just shell up. You're LeBron playing Dallas in the finals. Like, you have no reason to lose, but you just lose.
Calm down with that.
Yeah. Like, I don't get it. Like,
Any given Sunday, dude. It's any given Sunday.
it is, but at some point,
It's probably got to be tough to
we give you enough Sundays and then you still don't figure
be
it
a
out.
Cowboys fan. I mean, again, as a tormented
fan.
Lions fan,
Yeah.
you know, you're just bad.
Yeah.
Like, there's no expectation.
Yeah.
But when you're a good team and you just choke in the playoffs, that's just a whole different kind of.
Shit the bed every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, at some point, you should be comfortable with it because you know it's going to happen.
At some point, that's your favorite scenario, though.
I don't know.
You're good. You make the playoffs.
It's weird.
You'd rather that than one Super Bowl.
Okay.
Oh, that's
The,
your scenario, though. As a football fan, that's what you want.
The next narrative. Tua. Good, bad, or average. I think every week it changes, and I don't understand it.
Any given Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he played well
Yeah.
in a cold weather game. I mean, I know
Yeah.
there's no moral victories,
Yeah.
but I think people thought he was going to be a lot worse.
You came
Yeah.
to play.
And again, it helps that you have two just burners.
I was going to say,
Absolutely.
they went off as they usually do, and is it the chicken or the egg? Is it Tua or the help? Who knows? But
That's the help.
I think, like we've talked about before, Zach Wilson, these other guys prove that you still have to find a way to get the ball there.
Yeah.
Like, are they wide open sometimes? Sure. But are there times when it's like you need to make somewhat of a high IQ play? He seems to do that. That being said, I think he's good. I don't think it's like this crazy, like we need to be arguing if he's like a top 5 guy.
I don't think he's top 5.
No.
Yeah. Like,
Top 15.
like I think you're
For
going to,
sure.
High-end game manager.
I
Yeah.
think he is, and it couldn't be more ironic from where he came from. He is literally Alabama. Like the Dolphins have the chance to be Alabama, where it's like you're going to be a product of this environment and this team. You're never going to be the guy that they just solely put on your shoulders and just take this team to victory.
I mean, they did do that.
What?
Alabama did do that in the national championship.
I guess he did do that,
He did do that.
didn't he? He came in. and
Slowly
he took over.
slowly
Yeah.
got the game put on his shoulders. Suck it, Jalen Hurts.
But usually it's
Came
one
in
of
and said, I got it.
no,
I
but,
got it.
but usually it's one of those things where it's like, Alabama has always been just like they get top tier like game managing quarterbacks, and I would just argue they've got one of the best ones from there in the recent decade. And now that he's in Miami,
Jalen Hurts.
touche, and he's in a great system and everything's working out now. But it's like
Mac Jones.
you kind of wonder what it looks like when Mike McDaniels isn't having sarcastic fun because they're playing well, or like what does a 5-game losing streak look like to them? Like
He's too good. He'll never have it.
I don't know.
He'll
But
manage the game too well.
But again, one week somebody's going to come out in the mainstream media and be like, Tua is the greatest thing we've ever seen. And then the next week, he had 14 yards in the first half. What are we looking at? This is stupid.
Yeah.
And
That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
First half against the Chargers.
So leading into that, the kind of like part 2 of this, I guess, the narrative game, the 2020 QB draft class, who's superior? I feel like that's just going to be brought up until the end of time, until they all retire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even after that,
Yeah.
they'll talk about it.
And what's kind of crazy is, shouldn't it just be kind of Joe Burrow by a mile right now?
No.
Because it's Burrow, Herbert,
Yeah.
Tua. Is it Lawrence?
No.
No. Who was
Who's
the?
next year?
There was a fourth one. Oh, Jalen Hurts. Sorry. Yeah.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
I did not include him for obvious reasons.
No, he wasn't in that draft. Mac was in the Trey Lance, Zach Wilson.
Was he?
Yeah.
I don't think so. But either way, my
It
point
was.
being, they're going to always argue
He was a
about
rookie last year.
they're going to always argue about these guys, and I just think it's one of those weird things where I'm like, Joe Burrow's been to a Super Bowl, arguably one play away from winning it.
Not more than that.
Yeah, it was Jalen Hurts, Herbert, Tua, and Burrow, but it's like Herbert's probably
I think when the smoke clears, that's the guy.
Herbert.
Yeah. He's just,
But that's what I think. It's already one of those.
he's a robot.
No, again, you get so accustomed to things, and it just becomes this altered norm where Joe Burrow, the Bengals were, like you said, you thought they weren't even going to make the playoffs, and now they're just a sneaky 10-4, right where everybody assumed they would be
Right.
because of Joe Burrow. The guy just balls.
I mean, there was a historic collapse by Tom Brady.
Sure.
They've had, I think, 2 games that are, coin flip games, if you will.
Right.
And that's why I thought, they were just in a ton of games last year within one score. And the regression
Yeah.
says that they were going to not win. They won like
You can't
80%
win all
of those games.
Yeah, you can't win
Well,
all
and he
those
has
games.
an undefeated record against Mahomes, which is kind of a crazy stat, all
Right.
things considered. So it's like he's proving it when it matters most in his very short career.
Yeah, I think he's had a more talented roster around him too.
Sure, but I think also a lot of it, like we talk about, it just goes into being the guy. Like at some point, you just have to be the guy.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and he's got it.
Well, 5 years in college will help you mature and
I
be
agree.
the guy.
Especially spending 3 of it at Ohio State. Couldn't get a better education. I don't know where you find it.
You win national championships at LSU.
You do when you have the world's
Hey.
greatest roster of all time assembled. But
I don't think it is.
yeah.
Some of those guys he's playing with now.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Mar?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow? Yeah, anyways. Ask some questions. Ouch.
So,
Raft me, baby.
Raft it. Bill Belichick will not finish his career coaching in New England.
What's he going to finish it in?
Another city.
Okay. Where do you think he's going?
I think he will.
Yeah, he
He's like he's just over 30 wins away from setting the all-time mark.
yeah,
From Don Shula.
3 more seasons.
You think the Patriots are going to win 10 games the next 3 years?
4 seasons.
Even then, Josh Allen, Tua,
Right.
Yeah, like the
Mike
division.
White.
Yeah.
Dog.
It used to be probably 5-1 was a given in his division.
Yeah.
That's not a thing anymore.
Right.
Like it literally could be flipped.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
going 1-5.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
And I think, I'm not sitting here saying I'm an avid Pats fan, but I think
Do you think he has enough collateral built up to keep his job
100%.
until they set the record, or
New England made their bed.
are they just gonna
I think
let him go?
Well,
and then
I
he
think
gets
the Brady
picked up
thing was
somewhere
pretty
else?
nasty. I think
Well, that's what I'm
it's
saying.
no secret that Kraft, looking back on it, would have rather had Brady than Belichick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's who they picked. They made their bed. You decided to take the head
you
coach.
can also buy a new bed.
Right. Yeah. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
get a new hot young
These
head
sheets
coach.
are dirty now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're dirty now.
Because again, like he's been credited for discipline, football plays, don't need the guys, and it's like,
Bonehead play.
right, like what just happened yesterday isn't a Bill Belichick coached Patriots team.
Right,
Yeah.
like the
And
miscues.
Correct. And this is happening more and more. So you just wonder if next year, I don't know, 8-9, 7-10, you're like, you're getting older.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing. There's a bell curve for these coaches. There's a
Yeah.
reason a lot of them aren't coaching at 70 years old.
And if
Right.
his style's not attributing to the new style of play,
I think he still will. I think he'll retire a Patriot.
Oh, yeah.
But I think if you would have asked this question 3 years ago, it would have been insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there's real possibility that they'd be like, you know what? I think it's just time to move on.
Yeah.
Not
I
even
would
move-
say
he
he
just-
would retire. I don't think he'd coach anywhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say he would just be done. He would just be like, the ship's clearly run its course. Like we went. I mean, we're arguably one of the best dynasties in NFL history. I think we'll be okay.
But you don't think he doesn't want that all-time winningest head coach? Like it's in grasp.
Oh, for sure. And that's why I think New England. It'll be like Kobe. Like the team will just suck, but you're gonna fucking, maul your way to 5 or 6 wins a season for the next 5 years, and you're just gonna be like, all right, you got the number. Like, congrats, man. We'll see you in Canton, but it's time to let you go. You're old and senile. What's that? All right, let's get you to bed now, Grandma. Yeah, like you're
Carry me. I'm too drunk.
If those aforementioned Dallas Cowboys lose in the first round,
Yes.
which keep in mind that will almost all but guaranteed be a zombie Brady,
Yeah.
a Desmond Ritter Falcons, a team that they will be probably at least a touchdown favorite.
Love it.
If they lose,
See you, McCarthy. See you, Dak.
yeah, is Sean Payton coaching the Cowboys with a different quarterback?
Yeah.
Ooh, with a different quarterback.
Here, let me pull up. Let me see.
I don't think with a different quarterback, but I think Sean Payton is in Dallas.
Because I know Dak just got paid.
I was just gonna say Dak's contract. Signed a 4-year, $160 million contract, and this was it this year?
Was it? Yeah, it was the last
I think
end of last year. Yeah, after
Yeah.
he came back from the old leg.
That's tough.
I mean, he's not great, and I don't know why.
People suck his dick. It's because those fucking
Or it's the opposite. Like Cowboys fans hate him. They're like he's inaccurate.
what's the soup? The progressive soup?
Campbell's?
Chunky?
Chunky? Campbell soup? Yeah, he's just in so many commercials. Like, it's tough to hate him, but I hate him.
It's tough to hate him, but I can
League
make
number,
it.
dude.
Yeah, he was the guy that got put into stardom, and he never deserved it. It was like he reminds me of The Rock in a sense. So here, follow me on this. The Rock,
Black Adam.
yeah, The Rock. So there was a guy that watched the Black Adam trailer, and he goes, "This couldn't be more of a Rock movie where he's just trying to be like a badass versus like a superhero movie, if that makes sense. Where The Rock just somehow we've elevated him to this like elitist grade A movie star.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, and it's like
No,
when you
fucking
think
terrible.
about it, he's the same guy in every movie.
Buddy. I told you that about Ryan Reynolds, and you fucking suck his dick.
No, I agree because I think he has range. I think that he does something different. He has like, well, no. So
Well-
hear me out. It's like he's
He's Van Wilder in every fucking movie.
but he has like more charisma, more just like I don't know what it is. He brings something to the table where you're more drawn to him than you
He's
are this
funny.
this fucking
The Rock's not funny.
He's a treasure.
Rock tries to be funny.
yeah, but he's just this roided out fucking idiot, and you're like,
You think he's roided out?
yeah. I was like, you're not good. And so for me, it's like Dak. I get it. Third or fourth round pick, Mississippi State comes in, just shines, and it's like, oh my God, you're having this crazy 13-3 year. You took this team,
His hips don't lie.
yeah.
Hips don't lie.
Boom, boom. Do the ass thing. You land Zeke. You have an elite offensive line for 3 to 5 years. Like everything's in place for you to just sky's the limit. Did Dak ever want that? I don't know.
What do you think? You wanted to be a backup quarterback his whole life?
No, like it's the
Yes.
it's the Biebers, it's the Macaulay Culkins of the world. It's like you got shoved into stardom way before you thought it was coming or expecting it, and it just completely threw you off like kilter. So it's like it's a
Baker.
stretch to say that that's like messing with Dak, but you're on America's team. You're always in the fucking spotlight. You're the talk of every offseason conversation about like quarterbacks. Are you good? Are you bad? Maybe we should have done him for the narrative game instead of Tua. But it's like at some point the ride just has to be over. Like there's teams that give guys weeks for chances, not seasons, which I respect them doing the whole seasons thing because that's how it should be. Let a guy play a year at least. But I'm just kind of over it. Like what do you think is going to be different?
He's
I
gonna-
love the leg slap.
He's going to progress. He's gonna progress. He's gonna go through his progression. He's
just-
gonna get accurate, baby.
I-
He's gonna put the time in. He's gonna read the defenses. I mean, that's what you hope. That's what you
Does he
want.
need Sean Payton?
First round
Does
loss.
he unlock Dak?
Yeah, I don't. I think
I don't think if Kellen Moore can do it, I think Sean Payton's gonna do it.
it's first round playoff
Sean
loss.
Payton's gonna be like, dude, Drew Brees could do this in his sleep. You throw the fucking ball.
Right.
Yeah, I just
Easy.
Oh, most accurate quarterback of all time. Be that.
You're not
Just
him?
be that.
it's just it's tough, and you watch it and you're
That's
just
why you
like,
got beat up at Club La Vila, dude.
I don't. Maybe it's one of those like I've never seen it or like seen it enough to be like, yep, I totally get why you guys are sticking, thick and thin with this guy. It's like, just be done with it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Call it a day. You hired fucking Mike McCarthy for God knows what reason, thinking that would turn it around. It didn't.
That was terrible.
Like, it just nothing there. Like, that to me is a surface level. Like, you're 10-4, but
Stones.
deep down you're just fucking, you're in shambles. Like, Mike McCarthy doesn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Dak's just walking around with chunky soup. Like, Zeke's got his fucking half belly shirt. Tony Pollard's just smiling ear to ear. Zeke's ready to kill him. Like, there's just nothing good there
I think all those things are good.
for content. Yes.
I know he wasn't a winner if he goes to the same bar that I went to and then he got stomped in the parking lot. I'm like, this guy don't got it.
Yeah.
You don't get beat up at Club La Vila, dude. You beat people up. This
Yeah.
dude got stomped out.
No moxie.
No moxie.
No
where's
moxie.
where's his players? Where's his friends at?
Hate it. Yeah.
That's
Next-
Bo Callahan. Ain't nobody coming to his birthday
yeah.
party.
Fuck the Cowboys. What's next?
So, as of right now, in the AFC playoff picture, Buffalo 1, Kansas City 2. NFC, Philadelphia 1, Minnesota 2. Probably pretty close to being locked up. Cincinnati and maybe San Francisco could change
Yes.
that. A 1 or 2 seed in either division conference will not hoist the Super Bowl trophy.
One or two. So you're saying an outsider from the top 4 teams will win?
I'm saying as of right now, Buffalo, Kansas City, Philadelphia, and Minnesota will not win the Super Bowl.
It wouldn't be a bad like dark horse bet because you're basically saying Cincy and San Francisco. And honestly, my dark horse pick is Detroit.
Let's say, or am I saying Jacksonville?
I just
The Chargers. If they end up being the
I
fucking
think Kansas City hoists it.
sneak in,
the team.
Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. He's doing it, baby. He's
Gross.
going on an insane run.
There's just going to be
He's taking out the Cowboys in round 1. He's taking out the Vikings in round 2.
the story that's going to be awesome to hopefully see is Tennessee's going to shit the bed and lose the division to Jacksonville. Jacksonville's going to go into the playoffs with a head of steam, get a wild card win, and then that's going to be their season that was just like you went from Urban Meyer finger in a chick's butthole to now you're a playoff contender with a true quarterback, a QB1.
I mean,
And-
they had him last year.
But in a system where nobody knew how to unlock him, so to speak, like you said. And
and
just,
Urban Meyer.
yeah.
He's fingering chicks' buttholes. Finger popping each
Each
other's
other's
assholes.
And yeah, them and Detroit are going to be the two like funnest stories going into the playoffs. But I think it's like March Madness. The usual suspects come out when it hits Elite Eight, Final Four time, and I think you're going to see Kansas City, Philly, and Buffalo.
Why'd you say Minnesota?
Hey, Minnesota! Eh? No, I
don't think it's gonna happen.
yeah,
You don't?
and don't count out Joe Burrow.
Yeah, absolutely
If
not.
history's taught us anything in the short 3-year stint we've had him, he beats Kansas City. It's if he knows how to do one thing, it's that.
Well, hopefully he doesn't have to play him.
Yeah.
Now again, nothing's set in stone. This is just my prediction, which again, it's the playoffs in the NFC.
Baker's kind of a fatty.
It is what it is. In round 1, if it shaked out this way, we would have Minnesota hosting Seattle.
Yep.
We would have
see
San
them losing.
Francisco hosting the Lions, and then Tampa Bay would host Dallas.
Yeah.
Those are okay.
Right.
But man, the AFC,
It's going
If
to
it
be
were-
insane.
you'd have Kansas City hosting Baltimore, you'd have Cincy hosting Miami, and the Chargers are playing the Jags.
That's good games, baby.
Yes, the AFC is just going to be fun
Yeah.
for a decade.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, "Where's it? This is good, right?" I was like, "Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
those games are fantastic.
yeah." That's gonna be that's fucking football, baby.
That's Buffalo on the bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody
I love
wants. What would it be? Buffalo KC Part 4.
Yeah.
Like that's on everybody's wish list for Christmas.
Is it?
Cincy, Kansas City.
Well, they can't play everybody.
I know, but again, one can hope. It's just, it's going to be good football.
I'm going to say, I mean, we can obviously get bolder predictions as they come, but they're not even in the playoffs as of right now. But I do think if Jacksonville makes it, I think Jacksonville or the Chargers will play in the AFC Championship game.
That is a fucking bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah.
The Chargers are getting healthy, baby.
No,
I would say the Chargers over the
Fear
Jags.
that man.
Here's what I fear. You found the head of steam, and again, like it's basically Detroit, but is it legitimate or is it just like luck of the draw, kind of right place, right time with the plays and the teams you're facing? I don't know. Does that make sense?
For who?
Both of those teams, Jacksonville and the Chargers.
I mean, I think the Chargers.
I think the Chargers are just getting healthy at
Yeah.
the right time.
Yeah.
So that's scary.
Yeah.
But for the Jags, I would hate for them to just look at the season as a win already
Right.
and then just be settled with it. Like,
Yeah.
we were picked to be the bottom. Like, everybody hated us. Like,
Yeah.
we're whole coaching change, and then it's like, well, we've already exceeded our expectations. So it's like, well, if we lose, then that's okay because we can hang our hats high.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, 3 of the Chargers' 6 losses, 2 of them were to Kansas City, and 1 was to San Francisco, and it was for a combined 11 points.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah.
They don't lose big.
Yeah. That's
They have
Okay.
some blunders, but yeah, if they get healthy,
okay.
that's the rest, baby.
Yeah. Top 3, bottom 3. So, I think it's pretty straightforward for the top 3. It's Philly, KC, Buffalo. Is there any debate there?
I have KC, Philly, Bills.
Do you?
Yeah.
Even though Philly has the better record?
Even though
Okay. Well, you've been a big Philly guy for a while.
know.
So,
I gotta see what's going on with my man's shoulder, dude.
touche.
I can't put him number 1 and then they fucking lose. Can't
Mm.
jinx my guy like that.
I get it.
He's Jalen Hurt.
He is. Ha
So then what's yours?
Oh,
Same?
yeah.
Okay.
it is.
Bottom 3.
I have Kansas City, Buffalo, Philly.
Oh,
okay.
going back to hating on my guy. He's hurt. He's hurt.
So, bottom 3. Coming in at 32. It is the Indianapolis Colts.
Worst team in the league, huh?
Worst team in the league, huh?
So here's the thing. Houston has gone into overtime in back-to-back weeks against a legitimate Super Bowl contender and probably the biggest
Other
smoke
legitimate Super Bowl
and
contender.
mirror Super Bowl
They
contender.
didn't go to overtime with the Cowboys.
Yeah, they did.
They lost in regulation.
Close game.
Close game.
Right at the end
I'll
of the
give
Oh,
you
it
that.
was, yes.
Yeah.
They're
Down to-
feisty.
Down to the last second, yes.
Yeah.
And again,
Davis Mills back.
miles and miles apart. But Indy to
That boy got
blow
on neck.
to blow that kind of lead and to be the first team in over 1,500 regular season matchups to do that, it just takes some kind of miracle to be that bad. Like, you're not good. That's a flag. And so that's why I have them last. Denver, again, quietly lost again. And you're like,
They won.
They won.
oh, did they?
Yeah.
Tyler Ripon won, dude.
Boom.
He beat Colt McCoy.
Interesting. Didn't know that.
Beat them down.
No, they didn't. It was like a fairly close game, wasn't it?
They,
24-16, right?
yeah, they opened it up in the second half.
27-16.
Yeah. Either way, they're bad.
They are.
I don't know what's going to happen there, and it just continues to be this blunder.
24-15.
Which
Which
is-
has been 40-10.
24-15.
Is Russ out for the year? Like, are they just resting him?
I would.
The toilets won. The toilets won.
I mean, he's concussed, so he could come back. It's not like it was an injury.
It's,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it like a concussion is nothing,
He was
but
in,
it's not like he's nursing like a high ankle sprain. It's game to game.
Tua
like that.
Tagovailoa came back on
Right.
4 days.
Correct. So,
So,
like once he's
What are we doing here?
if he doesn't play next week, I think they will have then
Yeah.
shut him down.
Yeah.
Well, so I watched the Entourage movie again last night. Russell Wilson's in that. You can just tell even then, and that was back in like 2014, 2015. He's just a weird guy.
Doesn't
He
seem
was
like
in it?
That
Yeah.
doesn't seem like a movie he'd be in.
I mean, that movie was just lit up with cameos, but like him being in it just made no sense. Like you could just tell he doesn't know how to act. He doesn't know how to just be a real person. But then the 30th,
Well, he can do anything. He's unlimited.
30th is the Arizona Cardinals, because I think for me, it's kind of interesting how they went from being contenders, like where the NFC West is going to be this crazy battle every year, to like not only is the NFC West just San Francisco's to kind of just take over and run for the next couple years, But it's one of those where Arizona went from thinking they have the guy and the coach to now they're on the verge of just blowing it all up. And then you have DeAndre Hopkins, who's sneaky, like 30-some years old. And it's weird.
I get it.
J.J. Watt's like a sneaky, like 35 or something crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
3 sacks, though.
yeah, you're just really close to, again, it was like
Surprise drug test.
how we did the Baltimore. Like, are they just one, Lamar situation away from being absolutely terrible? I think Arizona's literally in the same boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my bottom 3.
All right, my third worst team in the league for me. It's the Bears.
It's fucking terrible.
I think
dude, they're so good.
well, no.
You talk about good losses.
They have Justin Fields. I'm saying collectively as a team.
Did you see the what almost happened? Which I told you again would be a great Netflix show. He almost went to Seattle.
Sure.
3 first-round picks and Justin Fields for Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Who says no to that trade now?
Right?
Fucking Chicago all day.
Yeah.
They're just like, we need 5 first-round picks or however many you can give us. We need them all.
Yeesh.
All your first-round picks.
Yeah, so they are there with me. Cardinals at 31 for all the reasons that you just said. They are in trouble.
Yeah.
And then Houston is the worst team for me still. They're feisty, but they're still bad.
You're a dick.
Okay.
They're a great team.
They're not.
A lot of heart.
Is there?
Sometimes you can't judge everything based off a record.
I have. Right here.
Yep.
At 30, Indianapolis Colts. JT went down. They went bad.
They're
That's how it
terrible.
happened.
Yeah. They're absolutely terrible.
He's not good enough for nicknames like that.
Jonathan Taylor, not Thomas.
Thank you.
See
There
you
you go.
later.
Got him. Yeah. Just you blow the lead, you're bad. It's
You're
the wor-
bad.
It's,
You're bad.
it's the worst lead blown in
Ever.
NFL history.
Yes.
You're bad.
You're bad.
There it is. That's all you have to say.
Every time.
You're
that's,
bad.
That's what I said.
You're bad. Bing,
32,
bang, boom.
32 out of 32 times you're bad.
Yeah. I have Denver as my 31 team.
Look at us.
They
Even
don't
though they
lie.
won, even though they won, I think that's rookie quarterback stuff, baby. That's the whole thing. That's the rookie quarterback angle.
If he does
You're
not
playing up
send
against
this,
fucking Colt McCoy.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Texans.
They hung
I
tough
know
with
they're-
KC.
No.
Here's the thing, dude. They're just getting overlooked. They're fucking double digit. I think they were plus 17.5 against the Cowboys.
Yes.
And then they were like, okay, well, that's too many points.
plus
they kept it
14
close.
against the Chiefs.
So it's plus 14 against the Chiefs. And they're like,
yeah.
no, we'll keep it close, baby, because guess what? We don't give a fuck. We have the worst team. We only have 1 win. We can start winning some games. We can
don't
be
give a-
sneaky. We could get a sneaky win in here.
We don't give a
You know what I mean?
fuck.
We got nothing to lose. We're getting the number 1 pick, baby.
God.
Come on over, CJ Stroud.
Ugh.
Ooh,
So,
there
that
it is.
being said, let's make our picks.
That being said,
Let's make some money. Because
3-0.
we are making
because
money.
we are 3-0, baby.
That's the
are.
second or third time this year that it happened?
I don't know if we've done it that many times.
At least 2. I know that. Or we were really close.
No, I know it's been at least twice.
Yeah.
I literally think the first week we were.
Look at us.
Look at us. Who would have thought?
How did we get here?
How did we get here?
Mine. So taking Detroit was the easiest pick I've ever made. Is that who I picked? Yeah. Let me look.
Last week?
No, you didn't take Detroit.
No, you took Cleveland -3.
Cleveland -3. Yeah. Talk about just the under.
Only home team to cover.
Yeah, under of the century. Like, you just knew it was going to be a shit game, but, like, again, Cleveland just should absolutely win. This week, though, you look at it, and you don't really know where to go. Like, Jacksonville +1. It's kind of, like, right there staring at you. But then Detroit -2.5. Carolina's got something to play for, though, so you don't know if you really want to punch your ticket in there.
Because Detroit doesn't?
No, I mean, I get it.
Uh,
But then part of me kind of thinks,
remember, we got Thursday, Saturday, Sunday football this week.
oh,
Yeah.
and I think I found it. It is a home game for this team. They've been pretty awesome, if you pick up what I'm laying down.
That's serious. I knew what you're saying.
Pretty awesome.
And that is Brock Purdy
They went from irrelevant.
and
Now he's pretty relevant.
to the starting quarterback for the now 2-0 since starting San Francisco 49ers. I think
Swallowing those points? Hold
That's
tutty?
a lot. That's a lot.
Although the
I
Commanders,
love the Stones.
yeah, although the Commanders have been that team
What's it
for
on DraftKings?
7
Oh.
for the majority of
They
the
got you on
year.
the hook over here on.
Yeah, like they've been a fun
Fanduela.
team to watch. Everybody rallies around Taylor, but again, I think they're one of those teams too. Like we talked about the playoffs in the NFC, they're just running on fumes.
Yeah, I think Washington squandered a chance.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be a little disheartened going into that game.
You lost to New York, like that was a pivotal game to keep in front of them. Now you're absolutely behind them.
Shit, team.
But yeah, you're just gonna get caught.
Rush the wrong gap, dude. It happens.
But you're gonna get caught in this buzzsaw of San Francisco just
Buzzsaws ready.
yeah, just fucking eating right now. The offense is just firing on all cylinders with a guy that is irrelevant, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick of the draft. And from what I've seen, it's one of those you can only base it off what you see and what happens in the game. Brock Purdy just throws a Purdy ball. Like it's tight, spiral, it goes. Puts it where it needs to be.
Good job. Do it.
Yeah. Like it's just what's not to love about it. And then they're at home at that. Like I just think it's one of those where
Kind of has like a Zach Wilson throw to me. Not comparing the players all, but it kind of looks like they just kind
Yeah.
of like just launch it
Yeah.
a little bit. Like,
It's
oh,
just
let me get it there.
yeah, it's a fucking dart though, and I like it. I think it's one of those where if you told me San Francisco gets a defensive touchdown and it ends up being like 23-7, I could see it.
I could see it.
I could see it.
I
So
could see it.
San Francisco -7. I will take the touchdown and swallow it whole.
Alrighty.
All right.
I got to 500 last week.
Yeah, you did.
I have got to scale this mountain. And who else to scale a mountain with?
Trevor Lawrence.
And Trevor Lawrence.
+1,
It's
baby.
+1.
Yeah, I'll pick him.
The Jets, they're in trouble.
Yeah,
I think
+1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're -1.5 on FanDuel.
I think
That's
there's.
insane.
I think
That
their
is
season
nuts.
ended last week with Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, technically the Jets can still make the final AFC playoff spot, but the Jets have a division title, or the Jags have a division title to win now.
The craziest thing to me is watching. I love not seeing a game and just basing like how you think it's going off of just tweets. And a ton of people at Barstool were just tweeting like, man, I love watching Zach Wilson play football. And you know it's just with heavy sarcasm. So I assumed looking at his numbers, it was going to be a classic Wilson game, like 10 of 30 for a $105, couple interceptions, maybe a touchdown. I didn't realize he threw for over 300 yards.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he balled out as far as just
I mean, he threw some up for grabs, and it seemed like Jets players just came down with it.
Yeah.
I mean, his one interception was really, really bad,
Yeah.
but he threw some fucking darts. I remember when it was 3rd and 19, he hit
Garrett
Wilson on just a crossing route where there was not a lot of room.
Well, and that's where I think too, with what happened with the whole internal, with their team, the media, everything, and he's just a terrible media person and just
Yeah.
sucks at being, a team leader.
Young kid didn't know what to say.
I think it's absolutely one of those where he is, if he continues to be the starter, he's going to force feed every wide receiver to just try and make him happy.
As he should.
Oh yeah, but I
Well,
think
and
it's
good
going to
for
be
Salah because he already came out and was like, yeah, I believe in this kid. Like, just because Davis or whatever his name is,
Mike White.
or Mike White
Mike
came
White.
in, like, he's not exactly the starting quarterback. Like, I'm not writing this kid off.
But it is one of those like based off the fucking.
But he's got a couple games to win still, so
Right.
you got to say what you got to say.
just where you get picked in the draft, like basis how a team treats you is just fucking weird versus like how you actually perform on the field. I don't like it.
I love it.
It's weird.
Dut.
Oh man,
Take us home, Mr. 10 and
there
4.
are some good ones on here.
You like Cleveland -3?
I 100% do.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Right.
The Saints, the fucking shitty Saints.
The Saints, the shitty Saints.
Yeah, you know 'em.
They're coming marching. So we did not like the Texans getting a touchdown at Tennessee,
No.
seeing how they're keeping
I
every
mean-
game close now.
No, I think
Yeah.
it's a toilet bowl game. It's one of those weird ones where I don't know how to judge it. So if you told me
Tennessee has to win.
Tennessee won 24-16, where it's like you missed it by a point, I wouldn't doubt it, and I would be livid.
Houston money line.
Could you imagine? No.
Do we? Yes, we do. We're doing it.
He found it.
We found it. It is a road dog, baby. And they're going right into Schittsburg. And it is the Las Vegas Raiders. Getting 3 points, baby.
It's a big one. They
Those
need
are
it.
a lot of points. Those are a lot of points. And coming off a miraculous win, they're going to ride that momentum. I think
Who do they play
Josh
again?
Jacobs
Pittsburgh.
is going to run on the
Rampant.
Steelers.
Yeah.
and it's not going to be. It's going to be methodical. He's going to have 100 yards, but it's going to take up a
on
lot
25
of time.
carries.
It's going to take up a lot of time.
Yeah.
That
I think that's what
was-
it is.
Yeah, that was the other really weird line to me that doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's +3. That's odd.
Yeah.
Because Pittsburgh sucks.
That's girthy football.
That's girthy football, baby.
Episode 86, Sports
Pick
Rule.
up sticks.
Gamble responsibly.
Lionel Messi,
Always.
World Cup.